So there we go. Yeah. So, hello. This is Children of the Revolution. My name is Louise Taylor, and this is
Karley Wauchope.
Thank you so much for agreeing to have a chat.
More than welcome. It's my pleasure.
Oh, so before, at the start of all the interviews I do, I ask, do you think we need a revolution?
I think that there possibly is a revolution. The rumblings of one already.
Oh wow, somebody else said that. And what is it that makes you think that the rumblings of a revolution is already happening?
Well, I think that it's the positivity that I have come across, I would say, in the last few years, and the various people that I've met.
Yeah.
That I feel quite hopeful that a revolution is beginning to, that little seed is beginning to sprout.
That's how I feel. I feel very positive about change coming.
Yeah.
But can you tell us, because for some people they might think, what kind of change? So can you tell us a bit about what you do?
Well, I'm a senior project officer on the Green Gym for the conservation volunteers, and basically it's a project funded by the Public Health Agency to allow people, or to encourage people, to get out into nature and get active.
Lovely.
And we have a few various sites that we would meet at on a weekly basis. And you basically come along and join in with whatever activities we're doing, whether it's conservation work through planting trees and shrubs, or wildflowers, or growing vegetables.
Yeah. And I have to say that I have attended your Green Gym a couple of times, and I mean, I was indispensable, wasn't I?
So you were wonderful. It was wonderful to have you, Louise.
I loved it. It was a great time. And they cooked. There was food at that one.
Yeah, there was at Ancregan. They started to cook some of their own produce, which was great, because it's the next, it's another connection.
Yeah.
They're preparing food together, harvesting your vegetables, preparing the food together, and then eating together.
Yeah. So, it was so nice, and it was so everybody there, just, there was a lovely feel.
Yeah.
It was a lovely, everybody was so kind. There was no judgment when you were a bit rubbish at weeding. There was a lot of encouragement. Yeah. There was no pressure. It was just like spending time with other people.
Outside.
Yeah, it was absolutely lovely. So the revolution that you're witnessing is in terms of conservation and nature, or
conservation and nature, and I suppose people's own health through growing their own vegetables.
Right.
Knowing what's going into their food by growing it themselves.
Well, yeah.
Which also gets them out into nature.
Yes.
Connected to the soil.
Yeah.
I think is really important.
So growing vegetables is a big thing that, the only thing I've ever been able to grow, and I have planted quite a few things, was yellow courgettes.
Well, I would be quite impressed with that.
Were you?
You should be proud, yes.
Yeah, I just planted them, and then they just did their stuff.
There you go.
And everything else failed. Everything. There was a lot of other things that, like I think green beans and stuff, they just got eaten slugs so quickly.
Well, yeah, you'd eat them yourself, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, but yellow courgettes,
they just got there first.
Dear. Yeah, but it is. So how long? So this love of nature, this connection of nature. Can you tell me a bit about how you got involved, or?
Yes. Well, pretty much. I think nature has been a big part of my life since I can remember. I was always outside climbing trees and playing in the fields, and we had a little woods up beside us. We called it the plantain, because it was a little plantation, and we spent hours in there. We had a great time. So I suppose it's always been there.
Yeah.
Although I followed the agricultural route, and then fell back into this sort of tree work and nature, and through volunteering at the tree nursery in Clandyboy Estate.
Yeah.
So yeah, I always think things happen for reasons.
Yes.
So that's brought me back to where I am today. Yeah, I met a man from Strabane but was reluctant to move west. But then just situations changed in the tree nursery, and one of us, either my boss or I, was going to be made redundant.
Oh.
But a post came up in the west at the same time on the Green Gym project. So I applied and got it.
Oh.
So that's what brought me west.
And look at you've got such a beautiful location.
Amazing. I absolutely love it. And I love where we are, and I love the sites that I'm working on.
Yeah.
And nature's just amazing over this way.
Oh.
You know, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, and so it is, you've just got the most beautiful space. But you've got what was it? You're thinking there's a connection with nature, so I'd be in, and that would be what my study would be, what was happening in nature. And people were talking about the physiological level of cortisol and things like that, which there's a lot of evidence for. But what do you think? Whenever you think of nature, what is it that you find most relaxing, or what do you think is happening for a lot of people?
I think that I personally love to get my hands in the soil.
Yes.
Because I think it reconnects me. I know my mother gives off about the state of my hands, and I should always wear gloves. But I like getting stuck in there and feeling the soil in my fingers.
Yes.
The dirt. I like that. Reconnects me.
But when you're feeling the dirt, you're not thinking about anything else with that feeling.
Yeah.
So that would be
But even just the fresh air too. You know what I mean? Breathing in the fresh air.
Yeah.
And the smells.
Yeah. I and the sound.
Yeah.
Birds.
Yeah.
Rivers.
Yeah.
Trees.
The rustling.
Yes.
Love that.
So have you come across many people, so you were saying that the Green Gym, before the interview started, it was a doctor who came up with the idea?
Yeah, it was, unfortunately, I can't remember his name, I should know it, but it was a doctor who was fed up prescribing pills for things that he felt could be altered by just getting out into nature. And through him and the conservation volunteers, they came up with this project called the Green Gym. So then he would have got people to come, people would have came into him with ailments, and he would have said, well, I would like you to go and try this out and come back to me if your problem still exists. And it was really successful and has grown from strength to strength. Now they have green gyms all over the UK and Northern Ireland here.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And how long have you been doing that work?
I have been with the Green Gym for 5.5 years.
Right. And in that time, you must have met loads of people using this or loads.
Yeah, great characters, and they all are there for, their own different reasons.
Yeah.
I get ladies coming out on the Monday, and they're there most of the day, and they're just this is my day.
Yeah.
They're grannies, they do a lot of childminding for their offspring and stuff, and they're just nope, doesn't happen on a Monday because Monday's my day, and they get out and they just love it.
It is awesome.
Yeah, they do. It's great, but it's great to even see the change in people, because sometimes you get a new person coming along and they maybe feel a bit shy or intimidated.
Yeah.
But they soon settle in, and the transformations, are amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's I think it's not. Well, do you think there's? I didn't sense a competitive nature. It's just people just getting on with it.
Yeah. You. It's the same everywhere. You get different characters.
Yes.
Some characters maybe don't gel with other characters, but usually the space is big enough.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also I get some, I have some volunteers who come out on a Monday or a Thursday or whatever day of the week, and they're just like, they just want to, you know, like, I just want to weed somewhere, or you know, they just want to that little time to themselves.
Yes.
But then we'll all meet for tea, and you know.
Yeah. So you've got that choice of being social.
Yeah.
Or actually. Not
and
really.
it's totally fine.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
Whatever works.
Well, I loved it when I was there, but I didn't actually do a lot, to be honest.
You were just by being there.
I went for a walk. Had a lovely time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, enjoying it.
Yeah, just connecting with it and taking that time. But I think that there's this notion of being busy. This busy. Everybody's too busy. I think that's one of the reasons it's so far down on their list, giving themselves that time.
But it's important.
So important.
It is important. It's important, you know. I find even with the kids, you know, you could be in the house and you could just be getting to that point where they're like a bit of cabin fever going on.
Yeah.
Just to get out. Like, totally different.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, you see, so with children, and we were saying before, like, I would have been able to go out, but now it's different. A lot of people think children need to be supervised at all times. So you've got forest schools, that's brilliant. The forest schools are amazing. But what do you think might counter that, or what do you think might, because it's so important children are connected to nature?
It is so important. Like, to me, that's what has made me who I am today, is the time that I spent in nature and being allowed to just do my own thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. There was nobody shouting out the window, you know, get down from there, or you know, because you learn that way. Yes. You know? Yeah. And I think children need to be allowed to do that. Yes. They need to be allowed to climb on rocks and jump off them, or, you know, climb trees that are, you know, 25 foot high. If you teach them, you know, there's no reason, or no, you know what I mean? If you teach them how to properly climb by holding on, and, you know, never, like, always have one hand holding on, and, you know, I don't see, why would you not let them out? And but I suppose it's because there's so much information. We live in an age, we're bombarded with information, we're bombarded with stories in the news, where there's a lot of information that's kind of like, you should not do this. You, as a parent, you need to, and of course you need to protect and keep children safe, but it's kind of maybe over-vigilance to the point where actually fearful of nearly everything. Yeah, which isn't good either, right enough. But how can you counter that kind of the hyper surveillance, hyper vigilation with regards to children? Because actually that's being promoted on many levels. It's being promoted, take care, you must do this, internet safety, like, which fine, we get it, but then actually scaremongers to the point where everybody's scared, like, oh yes, outside, like, I don't know, it's just kind of, it just seems that there needs to be a bit more balance with giving children a bit more freedom to play and explore, make mistakes. I do think so, and I think that for those adults who maybe, you know, don't feel confident in just letting their children outside to play, there are plenty of green spaces that they could go to. Yes. That they could just let their children play, and they could sit and have their wee cup of tea or a chat, or you know. I think so. It's maybe letting their children play. For instance, like at Ancregan, there's the play garden. Yeah. So it has a fence around it. Yeah. The children aren't going to get out. Yeah. There's picnic benches where adults can sit and chat. Yeah. But there's plenty of opportunities for the kids to explore. Yes. You know? For those parents who maybe don't feel the confidence. Yeah. I think there are plenty of spaces. I'd love, you know, if there were just children's fields, you know, like a field that was donated for children,
and they'd done or whatever, and they're like, that was a field for children to play in, because I used to love playing on the field. And like I remember like I would have got chased the odd time, but it was like, it was great, and collecting frog spawn, things like that.
Part of the crack?
Yes. It was
hiding in the long grass when you heard the farmer coming.
Get out! Get out! Oh, you know what I mean? And like, it was fun, but now, well, Jeremy Turkington in his interview had said about the size of the machinery now and farming and the speed at which things go.
That's the worry.
So there's different. So if you had like fields that were just given to children's field, this is a children's field in the middle, they could go and play, and
that is true.
That'd be lovely.
It would be lovely.
They could just frolic and feel like we back in the day. Whereas now it's actually, you know, it is a bit, there's different dangers that might have been around.
Yeah, I suppose the world has changed, you know.
Yeah.
It has changed, but I don't know. Yeah, I think, as you say, if you're made aware of the hazards, and, you know,
yeah,
I don't see why not.
Yeah. I know, this is it, but that time, if I think about being a child now, I think I would have lost so much of those experiences. I don't think I would be having. I don't think I would.
You mean if you were the child now
that I was in the 19? I don't think I would have been able to. Like at one point in the 1980s, the neighbours and we all got together and we had like a dinghy.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And we were going towards Tulla River.
Yeah.
Like right. Wasn't even blown up properly. So we're all marching down, I think it was Atomic Moor Road, with a half inflated rubber dinghy about to get in to a big river. And the police they were like, hello. We're like, hiya, where are you going? That river? No, you're not. Away you go back home. But you know what I mean? Like, it was a really good time because we all got together and we were having good fun. But like, the river's not that bad.
Yeah.
But it didn't look great. Like, but it was like fun memories like that. There, we'd all come together and we'd be like, we'd have a plan.
Adventure.
Yeah, and we would have got like thrown out easily or whatever. But as I say, the river's not too bad. But the police were like, right, get your backside back home, you lot. But it was just so fun, like memories like that. But I just don't think
kids have the opportunity for that now.
The freedom.
I think it also depends on where you live, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Do you not find?
Well, yeah, that's why we moved though to the country and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know.
I think, but then again, children in the towns have different experiences.
Yes, they do.
Do you know? They still could have great childhoods. It's just going to be different from that country child.
Yes.
So I think I grew up in the country, and I had country experiences when I was young. We live in the country now, and I'm hoping that my children will have the same experience. And I'm not scared by today's society, because I have faith that there are a lot of good people too.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? And we live in a great spot here, like, you know. And I think if you know most of your neighbours, and you know, I know we have great neighbours here who look out for us.
Yes.
You know, so.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that in the future our kids will be able to roam the fields and not, you know, will not have to worry about, you know.
Yeah. Well, I suppose what my concern with children not being connected with nature is they won't see the importance of protecting it.
Well, I think that's true. It's like also caring for things and teaching them how to care for things. So if as a child they're taught to not stamp on that beetle, or you know, lift that spider outside instead of squashing it.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I think if they're taught that, if they can care for those small things, they'll be able to care for bigger things when they're older. And I think that's true in that. So if they're taught about nature as a child and that how important it is for them, that I do have hope that, you know, the next generation coming along will realise how important nature is and look after it.
Yeah.
Probably a lot better than we have been doing lately.
Yes, well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I think this next generation growing at the moment, I think they'll probably look after it a lot better than what.
Maybe our or well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm older than you.
Not much.
But like the generations, you know, well, I suppose it all changed when consumerism and mass industry,
Yeah,
you know,
I think
everything went a bit
yes,
further. Yes, everything's disposable.
Yeah,
Everything's limitless
yeah.
resources and stuff like that, and we're learning that's not true.
Yes,
Yeah,
it took time though.
but there is still exploitation of a lot of land. Like you can see it around here. You know, there is kind of like, oh well, we can do what we want. Like that's okay. Like I suppose with wind turbines and the stuff that's going on in the springs around here. You know, with the gold mining and stuff like that. Like, you know, that is still a really strong reminder that there isn't actually a huge respect for our countryside and our land still, even despite of what all we know. Money talks.
Unfortunately, it does seem to. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
that's the same in a lot of areas.
yeah. But the future, I still think the future is bright. But we are still making many mistakes.
Yeah, and probably will continue to do so.
Oh dear, oh dear.
But I think that I'm hopeful. You
Yeah.
know, and I think that it comes from. You know, it comes little bits, little steps. You know, I think we'll get there.
Baby steps.
Yes.
And I suppose, right, that's the thing, I just want to make sure time, right? Baby steps. So if you were brought up in a town or a city and you haven't had that country and you don't feel connected to nature, right? What might you say to somebody to encourage them? Because I think I think it's the greatest. I think it's the best thing.
To
I love it.
encourage that person who's in the city.
Yeah, to connect, or somebody who has never had that connection. What would it be? For me, it makes everything makes sense to me a lot more. So it's like when in nature helps me make sense of
Everything.
Like, it just clear. I don't think I can explain it very well, but you know, it makes sense.
Yeah.
That connection, that daily, it just clears things, and things that often can become overwhelming could walk, and by the end of it I'm like, life's good again, you know. So what might you do to encourage that? Like, yeah, just maybe like how would you get involved in nature in a city, or what would you maybe say?
Well, there are lots of green gym projects in cities, and there's lots going on actually in cities to do with nature. Especially, well, even in the towns actually, you know, there's progress is being made. There are a lot of community gardens, green spaces, walks. I know, for instance, my mother-in-law is from Strabane, which would be counted as a country town.
Yeah.
But you see, for her to go for a walk, there are very few places.
Oh,
Whereas
really?
her sister lives in Dunmurry in Belfast and has numerous places where she can walk in nature.
Really?
Yeah. So it's baffling,
Yeah.
you know. So I think, I know Belfast itself has a huge number of community projects with green space, and they have a lot of walkways, towpaths and forest walks. You know, the spaces are there, we just need to get people into them.
I love that. I see the message there. No excuses.
No, but that's true, there is no excuse.
There's no excuse.
No. Even in those little tiny gardens, you know, people come to Green Gym and they're like, oh well sure, I would be like, take that wee plant home, sure. And they're like, oh, I don't have a garden. And I was like, oh, you're bound to have a space or something, or a windowsill, or, you know.
Yeah.
You don't need a lot of, you don't need vast spaces to grow stuff.
No.
You know? So I think even if you can plant something up in your garden, whether it be a herb box or, you know, there are connections to be made.
Yeah. I love that.
You know.
It doesn't matter where you are, you can connect. And you can see just see the process. I just love the way things just do what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
Without ever with that connection with nature and the wild and stuff, it's just like they just get on with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And what you said before is like, before the interview, about, you know, if there's a derelict building or something.
Yeah, that totally restores my faith in the world. When you see a derelict site or a derelict building that has been left, and it doesn't take long, a year maybe, 2 years, and nature starts to reclaim it.
Oh.
Trees start to grow, grass grows, plants, wildflowers, you know.
Yeah.
Like, that restores my faith that, you know what, the world's going to be okay.
I love it.
You know.
Yeah.
Like a sign.
Well, that was your Children of the Revolution interview.
Thanks very much.
How did you find it?
Lovely.
Did you?
Yeah.
I am so pleased, and I really loved it. And is there anything you'd like to say, or anything you'd like to, how can they get involved? Green Gym, any
Green
website?
Gym, yeah. Contact the conservation volunteers, or even just get out and plant more trees, people.
Plant more trees.
Plant more trees.
Thank you so much.
No bother.
Take care. Bye.